There's a lot that we can say in regards to Bitcoin. What is next for Bitcoin, where it's headed. But in my experience in crypto over the years, one thing is evident on the charts. Bitcoin wants to break out. What is up, everyone? Welcome to Crypto Capital Venture. Hit the subscribe on the way in. It is just, I mean, if you're a crypto content creator, you shouldn't even use the word. You shouldn't even use the word breakouts. But it is what it is. I say this all the time. I'm just here. I'm just a dude out here on my crypto journey, tracking the data. I'm not here providing anyone financial advice. I'm here on like literally the same reason you're here. I'm watching these charts. I'm watching these markets. I'm watching the world and I'm wondering what is next for crypto. And just along that journey, along these years and years of ups and downs and the roller coaster ride that is Bitcoin, and this is the weekly chart, along this entire roller coaster ride that we see here, I've learned to just track the data. And when I say Bitcoin wants to break out so bad, it's just because it does for the lifetime of Bitcoin. And I just speak facts in terms of what we're looking at on the charts. This isn't an opinion. This is just breaking down the charts. But in terms of the charts, historically, when Bitcoin is here, and this can change, I very well much know that. I've said time and time again, I get that we're in a really unique scenario that Bitcoin is really not traded in its lifetime. That is the state of economic affairs, the state of inflation and rising interest rates and everything going on. But we're in this area where it's oversold like crazy on the weekly. And at the same time, it's the fear. It's that fear aspect. It's the fact that I can't say the word breakout. It's the fact that we can't think about Bitcoin to the upside without kind of, being thrown under the bus in the comments, because people just can't accept that is a possibility, right? Their upside is possible for Bitcoin. We're going to wait and we're going to track the bullish confirmations. But here we are, 18 on the fear and greed index. The fear is high. The headlines are real. They're powerfully negative. The crypto winter is unlike any downturn in the history of digital currencies. It's bad, everybody. The scenario is really, really bleak. And you can just see it talks about in this article, just stable coins destabilize, the nature of leverage. A lot of companies over leveraged, bankruptcies that's going on. So there are some things, but every bear market has these things, these unique scenarios that like, whoa, I can't believe this happened. And it brings in these powerfully negative headlines, right? When it's happening. JP Morgan says Bitcoin cost of production may be down to $13,000. And here we are, we're sitting at like around 20,000. And we're talking about the cost for Bitcoin production is down to 13. Does that mean Bitcoin price going down to 13,000? So the negative headlines are there. And this is another commonplace aspect of Bitcoin bear markets. And in these times, this is when I just get very much like, is history going to repeat itself? And that's the question I'm posing here. Putting aside all the technicals that we see, you can just see, even on this weekly chart, we have this MACD just crazy oversold on this momentum oscillator. Look at this, crazy, with this histogram potentially turning around, and it's a third higher low, or I should say second higher low from this previous low back in May, and you can just see the histogram just kind of really leveling off. This has been a very interesting time of consolidation. All of this from this oversold environment on the MACD, but the histogram on this most recent MACD, you can see just trending upwards, not really close to zero just yet on this weekly, but the momentum is there for that potential rally. Even if not the ultimate bottom of this bear market, a potential rally, it is there on the weekly. You can see the quicker moving momentum oscillator, the stock RSI, just a little bit of upside, a little bit of momentum to the upside, right? This can blow up real fast if Bitcoin decides to rally, right? And we can have a multi-week rally where that stock RSI is just cruising to the upside, and we have ultimately probably the most popular, my favorite momentum oscillator, the slower moving momentum oscillator, the RSI, just sitting down here and oversold. This environment where Bitcoin has been time and time again in these previous macro lows. Look at that. And here we are. So it's it's not that I'm saying Bitcoin's going to break out, but historically, based on exactly where it is on these technical analysis data points, it wants to. It is ready to. That's just a fact. Like, this is what it's done previously. We have to at least anticipate that. So what's interesting about all of this is, as we kind of dig into the charts now, you go over here to the weekly. Just want to note, 10% away is a 200-week moving average. It is a crucial area on these charts. It's an area where I'd anticipate Bitcoin can just trade below, bouncing around off of resistance potentially for months, potentially. This area right here is the 200-week moving average, and you can see Bitcoin just nestled in between that area and down here, a macro 786. That is so important to my TA on the macro, based on this theory that I came up with all the way back here in the 2018 bear market low, and that is this consolidation of Bitcoin between these two indicators. Here's a 786 back then, and here's the 200-week moving average. So we're once again consolidating in kind of a bear market low territory in between those indicators. The same thing happened all the way back here in 2015. So that's number one. But Bitcoin's 10% away to the upside from the 200-week moving average, that red line. So it's a move that I'm keen to see happen, because what if Bitcoin makes the move to there and actually starts to maybe potentially trade above that area? Right now, that is around $22,700. It's not that far away. I mean, it's around a 10% move. Let's dig into these charts a little bit. I want to just show a quick clip from yesterday's video that I did on where Bitcoin is right now. And this is an area not only of resistance. If Bitcoin breaks it, this is a key area of bullish confirmation, because you'll see this 50-day moving average just day. So Bitcoin down there just below 20,000 yesterday when I did this video. It's a speculative setup that I'm watching for. And what it is, if we go to the daily chart now, you can see Bitcoin has moved to the upside since then. We have broken above, Bitcoin has broken above the 20-day moving average. You can see the Bitcoin daily candle, still 5 hours, 36 minutes left. Let's see if it can close above the 20-day moving average. That'll be a big thing to watch for going into this evening. But other than that, you can just see what I was tracking in the video was a potential left shoulder, a head, and then the speculative setup for a right shoulder. Now, the right shoulder, what I was discussing in that video was a right shoulder setup coming up to a Fibonacci. So the head swing high to the neckline swing low, and you can see Bitcoin really has made its way very close to that area that I was discussing in yesterday's video. Not quite there at the 618 just yet. It's around $21,000, and then the 786 sitting around $21,600. Now, it is there though. It's getting very close. I will be very keen and interested to see if Bitcoin sees resistance at this area. Potentially Bitcoin already seeing resistance just below the 618 line. So that could be good enough for an initial resistance. But ultimately, I think as of right now, there's a right shoulder in play. There wasn't yesterday when I did this video, right? It was a speculative video. You can see where we're just kind of hobbling around down here in the neckline area. And now you can see Bitcoin putting in this upward momentum. And remember, when it comes to head and shoulders patterns, all this is Bitcoin trying to figure things out and settle a dispute, as we could call it, between the bulls and the bears. It's left shoulder, right? The bulls kind of bringing it up to a short-term swing high, right? Left shoulder coming back down to a neckline, the bear stepping in, pulling it down to that neckline. Then we have a head a little bit higher, bull stepping in a little bit more, bears bringing it back down to neckline. It's a tug of war is what this head and shoulders is. And then we have the bull stepping in again, like it's like this one last shot. What is going to happen? And then the bears in a head and shoulder setup to the downside would step in stronger, boom, and succeeding in the tug of war for that pull to the downside. This is why we look at this right shoulder Fibonacci lower high area that we discussed as kind of this resistance area, but also a bullish confirmation area. Meaning if the bears lose this head and shoulders tug of war, guess what? We have this breakout to the upside. That's this bullish confirmation where the bears or the bulls are doing something kind of out of the ordinary for this setup that was potentially in play, and the bears failing in that regard. And that's why we wait for the confirmation of that breakout through that lower high Fibonacci. So we looked at where that lower high Fibonacci is, but we can really just say Bitcoin right now, even on this daily chart, putting in kind of a right shoulder. The right shoulder doesn't have to be at an exact lower high Fibonacci. It doesn't have to be exactly the same height as the left shoulder. It's the story that's being told, and that right shoulder now being told, are the bears going to bring it back down to the $18,000 to $19,000 area neckline? And that's what I'm watching right now on the daily chart. And I just wanted to note that. So yeah, like if we're looking at the zoomed out charts, I really see it. Look at this weekly candle even. The momentum is there. We talked about in yesterday's video how traditional markets, they add clues into what Bitcoin is doing. You can go over here to the S&P 500 index, and we can just see a little bit of some upward momentum there too. These last 2 days, these last 2 daily candles, nowhere near as bad as I think many people thought they would be. We visited this article yesterday just talking about these different sectors and investment sectors and commercial hedgers stepping up in terms of buying, right? As opposed to money managers, which are basically selling. Now, the point of this article is kind of pointing out how commercial hedgers are the ones actually involved in these different sectors, and them buying is a very bullish clue into something for all markets, traditional markets, obviously, but this would be including crypto and Bitcoin. So I'm keeping an eye on that, but this move to the upside to at least test the 200-week moving average, the 10% breakout for Bitcoin is set up. It is ready. Will it happen? Time will tell. I'm speculating here with y'all. That's all this is. I appreciate you coming by. I want to just continue tracking this with you. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, what you think is going to happen. The charts are extremely interesting right now as we watch this right shoulder setup. Will the bulls win in this tug of war, kind of demolishing the head and shoulder setup for the bears, or will the bears step in and bring Bitcoin back down at the very least to the neckline area, $18,000 to $19,000? Time will tell. We will track it. We will see. I appreciate you. If you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe as we grow in this bear market together. I'll see you on the next video. Have an awesome day. God bless.